Hey everyone, I finished watching the next VR Troopers episode, Error in the System. This one I've seen a few times. I think I had a tape of this one for a while, but I don't remember for sure. VR Troopers tapes, I never found VR Trooper tapes when I was a kid. I remember finding a few right before the DVDs came out. So then when the DVDs came out, I think I donated the tapes I had. I kind of wish I had kept them now, because yeah, tapes are getting harder to find. Especially since all the thrift stores keep closing or moving. Anyway, let's see. This VR Trooper episode begins with Ryan reminiscing about playing chess with his father. And, let's see, his father makes a move, and he's like, wow, I didn't even see that. And he's talking about how he learned to look past what's obvious and find the whatever. It's a really flimsy connection to the plot of the episode. I don't feel like the episode actually reflects this memory at the beginning. Whatever. So then, let's see. JB and Ryan are racing each other on skates to meet up with Caitlin. She's at the newspaper place with Woody, who is wearing googly eye glasses because he has to be doing something weird. He's not in his office to play with toys. So we gotta have something to make him look obviously silly. So googly eye glasses, why not? Anyway, JB and Caitlin get there, JB and Ryan get there, and Woody's like, why aren't you writing anything? We don't work here. I don't know if that's an excuse. It's funny. Woody's a funny character. Makes me wonder why they felt the need to add in more comic relief characters later. Also the dog. Whatever. Anyway, suddenly there's massive confusion when all the computers in the whole building just crash. Everything's gone. Then Woody gets a call saying that all the computers in the entire city are knocked out. So the troopers rush to Hart's lab to check on the computers there. If the computers in the whole city have been knocked out, maybe the computers in the lab have too. So anyway, we find out Carl Zichter is behind it, unleashing a virus into the city's computers. And then so he goes into virtual reality to gloat to his minions, I guess. Alright, sure, that's a thing to do. So then, let's see, they get to the lab, the computers are down, but JB finds Professor Hart. But Professor Hart seems grumpier than usual, judging from the previous 2 episodes. So anyway, Grimlord reveals his plan to his minions because... let's see. The virus is being transmitted from an underwater installation with Colonel Icebot and General Ivar working there with a bunch of Skugs. And they're also sending out a fake transmission of Professor Hart. So, at this point in the episode, we're not exactly sure the Professor Hart in the lab. Is this the real Professor Hart? Or is it the transmission? Who is it? He is acting different, but we don't really know him well enough to, be definite about it. And that's something I do like about this episode, that there's a little bit of mystery there that doesn't last at all, but whatever. So anyway, let's see, the troopers go into battle grid mode for the first time, and battle grid is a weird thing for VR troopers. It was a way for them to shoot American footage that was a lot easier for them to shoot than using the clunky Americanized Metalder and Spielbahn suits. Also, this Spielbahn suits, the American suits, they look okay. The Metalder suit, though, ugh. They did not get it right. The face just looks really wrong. The body is awkward. I don't know what happened. I guess Japan wasn't willing to make a new one, so they had to remake it over here, and it doesn't work. The Skugs turned out okay. Anyway, battle grid mode, they have spandex, which is a lot easier to move in because there's none of the clunky plastic parts. And then the helmets are just repainted Red Ranger helmets from Mighty Morphin. I guess they had a lot of extra red Mighty Morphin helmets for whatever reason. Anyway, it's really surreal seeing these suits because I've seen some of Metalder and some of Spielbahn years ago. I've seen bits and pieces of it since then, so it's really surreal to see spandex versions. JB and Caitlin's suits are actually pretty faithful recreations of the Metal Heroes suits, just in spandex. Ryan's suit is extremely simplified, it reminds me of Kikaider because it's so simplified and it's the half red, half blue thing. The helmets, while they're obviously reused Red Mighty Morphin Ranger helmets, I do like the paint design on them. It's really creative, actually. So anyway, they're in Battle Grid, they're fighting the Skugs. Oh, and also, interestingly, the Battle Grid mode scenes in VR Troopers, I think, was the first directing experience for Koichi Sakamoto, who would go on to be a really great director for Power Rangers, as well as for Sentai and Kamen Rider back in Japan. Really cool. It's so cool to see, like, like the beginning of his legacy. And you can tell that, like, the fight scenes in the Battle Grid are really cool. There's a lot of really cool camera moves and cool moves the characters do. The Battle Grid, like, dimension or whatever itself is kind of lame. It's really obviously just a curtain. Then there's, like, mist on the ground. There's some, like, rock formation foam things here and there. I don't know. On the one hand, it's really cheap and crappy looking, but on the other hand, it's kind of creative, and I don't know, I like the very rough, like, do whatever it takes to get the show done style that the old Saban era had. So then, let's see, they return to the lab, and Heart abruptly sends them off to another mission, and once they leave, the evil Heart starts, like, talking to himself and doing evil laughs. The troopers will will lose this time, ha 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 ha, or whatever. I don't remember what he says. Anyway, Jeb is right in there. Jeb can talk now, and Jeb, like, talks to him and makes it clear he knows that Heart's a fake, so Heart just insults him. Okay. Like, Heart can't do anything, he's on a screen, so, It's a weird scene. I don't really know why Jeb is there at all. Jeb feels like a late addition to this. So then, let's see. The troopers delay their mission to help these people that are, they have a stalled car. So then they, land their flying car somewhere. They go over to help the people, and they're like, hey, you need help with your car? And the people all turn and look, totally silent. They all have sunglasses on. And there's no emotion in their faces. They just stand there, like, stand straight, totally silent, and it's a really eerie scene. And then they all transform into Skugs, and it's not really creepy anymore, but I always love those scenes where the Skugs are disguised as people. When the troopers first approach somebody, and then they turn around, they have the sunglasses, no expression, they just stand there, and then poof, they're Skugs. It's a cool thing. The Skugs aren't really that creepy. The Skugs are kind of dumb. So then, let's see. They fight them off. They go to Tao Dojo, and, let's see. They find out about the virus or whatever, or that was sent by Grimlord. I don't remember what was going on, but they try to contact Professor Heart, but then they get a message saying Pathway inoperative, and JB concludes that, let's see, any interaction with Heart would be blocked by the virus. But then, let's see, the fake Heart comes through, and that's how they figure out that it's a fake Heart, because the real one wouldn't be able to get past the virus, or something? I don't know. So then, let's see, they piece together Grimlord's plan, they transform, they split up, Ryan and Caitlin stay in the airship thingy in virtual reality, I guess. I don't know, the virtual reality thing is so weird. Like, it's a really dated, like, way to think of virtual reality, as in, I don't think the writers even knew what virtual reality was. They just thought it was a cool name for something. I don't really know what exactly is going on. Sometimes when they talk about, we're going to virtual reality, now we're going to the real world, now we're in... Whatever, moving on. Let's see. JB fights off a bunch of Grimlord's forces. Ryan and Caitlin try to come back to help him. Jeb contacts Ryan and tells him that the fake Heart is what's being transmitted. Okay. So then, oh yeah, then there's a really weird scene they keep from Spielbahn, where, let's see, JB's been fighting off Grimlord's forces all by himself. Caitlin goes down to help him, and he's like, oh, my energy's almost gone. And then, excuse me, Caitlin is all like, I can recharge you. And so then they put their hands together and, like, do a thing. And then there's a silhouette of what's very clearly two little Japanese kids that don't look anything like JB or Caitlin. Like, even in silhouette, you couldn't pick two kids who look less like them. Whatever. It was a really weird scene to keep. I don't know why in the world they kept it. All I can guess is the producers saw that scene and they thought it looked cool. Which, yeah, it's a cool scene. Spielberg had cool scenes like that. But yeah, it doesn't have any relevance to VR Troopers. It's just weird. Or maybe the producers didn't care, or maybe they didn't notice. Who knows? So then, let's see. JB's recharged, and together they defeat all the monsters up in the airship. They locate the source of the virus transmission, and JB destroys the installation, ruining Grimlord's plan. And then JB, back at the lab, restores the actual Professor Hart, and happy ending, everything's cool. So, the whole episode, the plot hinging on a computer virus, definitely dates the episode, because, yeah, viruses don't really work that way. Like, if you send out a virus, it's not just going to infect, like, everything just by contact or transmission. You need to, like, actually download it or activate it in some way. I don't know, but this is a fantasy sci-fi show, so a virus being, like, forced into computers, I don't know, it works, it's fine. Let's see. Looking through my notes here. Oh yeah, Jeb gets to talk a bit more, but he doesn't really have anything important to say. Oh yeah, one of the things that was weird was when the fake Hart, like, talks to himself and laughs right in front of Jeb. Like, apparently he can acknowledge Jeb after Jeb acknowledges him. So he must know Jeb is there, right? Did he not know Jeb could talk? If that's the case, he doesn't seem too surprised when Jeb does. Also, the whole fake Professor Hart thing was weird. Like, I'm not sure, is it its own, like, is it its own thing? Or is it Grimlord talking through the fake Hart? Or is it Icebot or Ivar? Or do they take turns? I don't know. They don't really explain that either. Not really a whole lot else to say. This was a good episode. I really liked it. What's coming up next? Lost Memories. Trying to remember. What's that one about? I don't remember. Anyway. Good episode. I love VR Troopers. It's a fun show. So, I guess that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.